to Biafra Television London. We are reaching you from the platform of the truth of the matter. Restructuring campaign in Nigeria was defeated at the Senate floor. So now we are here to tell Biafrans that the only way forward for the indigenous people of Biafra is only a referendum, that is the Biafra restoration. So Mr. Kalabu, who is here with me, is going to talk on this issue and tell our audience why the restructuring of Nigeria, the restructuring campaign by the elites in Nigeria failed at the Senate floor, and why the only way forward is Biafra restoration. Mr. Kalabu, so in this regard, what do you have to tell our audience?
I welcome you, audience, today again for always being there and listening to our discussion on this hallowed platform, the Biafra Television platform. Mr. Moderator, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this restructuring mantra which has been defeated at the floor of the National Assembly of Nigeria. I want our audience to understand that this issue of restructuring, although it has an ambiguous definition, which means it could mean anything at any particular point in time. So, I want our audience to understand that restructuring was first talked about in 1940s, first by Lady Margaret Egbo. In 1945, Nnamdi Azikiwe was also at the forefront for championing for restructuring. And also, in 1963, Isaac Adakaboru was also at the forefront, leading and championing for restructuring of Nigeria in order to favor the people that the resources are being exploited from their region. Then in 1966, there was also a restructuring plan which was spearheaded by His Excellency Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, which they went to Aburi. The African Union supervised the meetings, and it was conducted before the presence of the former Ghanaian head of state, Joseph Ankara, and a far-reaching agreement were reached in order to salvage the deplorable Nigerian state. And when they arrived, when they returned to Lagos, the British advised the Caliphate of the North to renege on that agreement. And when they reneged on that agreement, the result was more than 4 million Biafrans were massacred. Then, at this 2017, the indigenous people of Biafra, having articulated and calculated all these injustices that has started for many decades, decided to opt out of Nigeria through the United Nations instruments of self-determination. And Nigeria, in their treachery to keep the people of Biafra in perpetual enslavement, decided to introduce this deceitful concept which they call restructuring, which was geared towards scuttling the restoration of Biafra, which has been gathering momentum for the past years now. So, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, said that there is nothing like restructuring. Rather, what we are looking for, what we are seeking for, is absolute extrication of our people from Nigeria and to restore our ancient nation that was robbed of us by the British. So, from all indications, it shows that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, is a prophet who has seen what is to come and decided to fashion out a peaceful way to save his people from destruction, because Nigeria was created for total destruct. Nigeria was created to serve the interests of the British and their Hausa Fulani, whom they are using as a proxy to levy war on the innocent people whose land is filled with milk and honey, which is Biafra land. So, we have been discussing about this issue of restructuring because some people who call themselves elites in our land, in Biafra land, people like the Ohaneze Ndibo. I want our audience to understand that these people, Ohaneze Ndibo, they do not have the mandate of the people. Ohaneze Ndibo, they have been existing right after the war in 1970. If you could remember, we were having the Igbo Union before the Civil War. And during the time we have Igbo Union, we had developments. We have sincere people who came out to champion the cause of our people to our own benefit. That was then. Then after the war, the Fulanis, working under the directives of the British, they decided to implant people in our land to represent us. Those that they choose for themselves, they choose them in order to install them in our land, whereby they will be representing the interests of the Fulanis instead of representing the interests of the people that own the land.
So you're saying this is how Ohaneze Ndibo
came
into existence?
Yes, I'm trying to give a little foundation of what Ohaneze is.
Yes.
So we had Igbo Union that was very, very effective. Then after the war, the Fulani, they installed their own lackeys in our place and they called them Ohaneze. And this Ohaneze, they have existed for many years. Go to the internet, there is no website for these people. These people, they do not represent every generality of the Biafran people. And at this point in time, when they see that the people of Biafra are seeking to extricate themselves through self-determination,
serious about it.
They now come and say that the indigenous people of Biafra asking for freedom is a call for war. That what we should do is to follow Nigerian law through restructuring. And we ask them, what is restructuring? So, unfortunately, the issue of restructuring was defeated at the National Assembly because restructuring and the Nigerian state is one thing that you must know, that in 1953 census, the British, they skewed the result of the census to the advantage of the North. That is to tell you that there is nothing you could do as long as you are not from the North, that you pass a bill that at the National Assembly, which the Northerners or the Fulanis do not accept. So, for every reasonable person must have known before time that the issue of restructuring is death on arrival.
Of course, yes.
So, Ohaneze Ndibo, they err in their judgment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalabi. Yes, Ohaneze Ndibo, they have failed. They have failed themselves. They have failed the people because they denounce Biafra agitation.
Yes.
For restructuring. Then you talk about restructuring. they engaged on that restructuring issue. They decided to agitate for restructuring in order to oppose the Biafra restoration project.
Yes.
So that at the end of the day, when they get a restructuring, some people will not say, no, we don't want Biafra anymore. We want this, we want that. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Now, restructuring has been defeated. Can you tell our audience why the northern Nigerians decided to vote against the restructuring?
Yes, because they must vote against it because they are benefiting from the fraudulent and the lopsided nature of Nigerian state. The northerners, they have 19 states, and the whole south, including Biafrans and Yoruba, has 17. So that means they have a veto power. Then when you come to the National Assembly, you discover that Kanu alone has the constituencies, because in political science they have what they call delimitations of constituencies. And this thing was done in order to favor the North. So whatever bill that you bring at the floor of the National Assembly, if the Northerners are not in favor of that, the bill must be defeated because they have the veto power. So that is the point which the Johannes and Igbo fail to understand. But I understand their predicament because they have seen that their empire is about to crumble. If you could remember also in 2001, there was a time there was a religious riot in Jos. In 2001, that time I was in University of Calabar. We went for an excursion in Calabar, in Jos, and the religious crisis started. Our people were massacred in numbers. Do you know that Ohanes and Igbo at that point in time, they collected money from the Fulanis in order not to allow the corpses of our people massacred in the north to be returned home. So when you look at it, you see that these Ohanese people has been the clog on the wheels of our people, because these Ohanese people, they were not elected. Nobody knows how they recruit themselves. They only recruit themselves, conduct elections within themselves, and share the contracts that the government has been giving. That is the reason when you come to our land, you see that there is no development. And when you speak at the national fora, they will tell you that what have your leaders been doing, because they know that these people are people that have been pocketed through Ghana Must Go.
Now, Mr. Kalago, thank you very much. Yes, I still have one other issue here. So now, Ohanes and Igbo, they campaign, even the elites in Nigeria, many of them campaigned, agitated for restructuring,
yes,
in order to oppose
Biafra
restoration project, and in order to keep their business empire. That is Nigeria.
Yes.
Now that restructuring has failed or defeated at the Senate floor,
yes,
what do you think that should be the position of Ohanes and Igbo and all these elites that campaigned for it?
These people, if they are sensible enough, if they are reasonable enough, they should know and embrace Biafra restoration, because there is no other solution to Nigeria except dismemberment. We need peaceful dismemberment. We need a referendum to be conducted and supervised by the United Nations, African Union, and the ECOWAS in order to determine our future in Nigeria, because the majority of Biafrans all over the world has completely rejected Nigeria. So when the people of Biafra demand for referendum, we are demanding for referendum because we are a peaceful people. We don't want anarchy and chaos in our land. So Ohanes and Igbo and their light should now embrace Biafra restoration. They should channel their agitation through our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a man who has given it all to make sure that the people of Biafra are freed from this enslavement. Mazen Nnamdi should, as a matter of urgency, reverse his gear and meet our leader Martin Nnamdi Kanu and apologize because he has made a very big blunder to himself. He must redeem himself if he wants to be relevant anymore. Because if they fail to do that, after 18th of November 2017, there will be no more politicians in our land because the people have taken over their land. Because sovereignty rightly belongs to the people, and when we decide not to give up that sovereignty to anybody, nobody should question us. So Ohaneze Ndi Igbo should now see his mistakes. Because for championing for restructuring without even looking at the background on the series of restructuring that people has attempted to achieve in the past, but they couldn't.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kala. Thank you very much. Although on Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, in the first place, we did not vote to have them as our leaders. There was no time in history that the people of Biafra or Igbo-speaking Biafrans came together and say, Ohaneze Ndi Igbo are the people representing the people of Biafrans or Igbo-speaking Biafrans. There was no time.
No.
So as you said it before, Ohaneze Ndi Igbo is representing the Hausa Fulanis.
Yes.
Our audience heard you when you say how Ohaneze Ndi Igbo came into existence just to protect the interests of Hausa Fulanis, while Hausa Fulanis are representing the interests of the British. Yes. That is it. So now we still have one more important issue. You can see that some people, some group of people from the coastal region of Biafra, the riverine area of Biafra, they are saying that they want to restructuring. Now restructuring has failed at the Senate floor. What should be their position?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, for bringing out this issue. I want to our audience, especially our brothers from the riverine area, they should remember that in 1993 there was a man called Ken Sarowiwa. He was also agitating for resource control, which is similar to restructuring, and he was killed by the Fulanis. He was agitating for this resource control, which is also as a restructuring. He didn't shoot a bullet, and he was killed for agitating peacefully. And in this 2017, I want them also to remember that our people in the riverine area have also been agitating in order to control their resources. And the government, the evil government of Nigeria, decided to tag them militants, and they are calling them militants. In my home, I have resources, and when I go to take my resources, you call me a militant. You have our brothers from the riverine side who are refining petroleum products without using any equipment, instead of the government to empower them and use their intellectuality to achieve progress for the people of Nigeria, but they don't. What they do is to kill them and imprison them. So why I bring all these things is for our people at the riverine area to understand that there is no other hope we all have as people for us to exist, only Biafra. We are all Biafrans. We have been Biafrans for thousands of years. It is only the British that are using Nigeria to create a divide and rule policy in order to extract the resources in our land. Even now, as we are talking about Biafra restoration, these evil British and their useless Nigerian representatives have always continued to tell our people from the riverine side that they are Niger Delta, that they are South-South. When you go to the navigational compass, there is nothing like South-South in it. So these are just concoctions in order to make you to be a minority in your own land in order to exploit your resources. When you talk about Niger Delta, what is Niger Delta? A delta is where the river flows into the ocean. You have such things in the Pacific. You have it everywhere. Are you calling those people Niger Delta also, so that you will be in one country? So what I want our people to understand is that these are just created in order to divide us for it to be easy for them to exploit our resources. So today, restructuring has been defeated. Everybody was talking about restructuring. And the Fulanis, they went to the National Assembly and told you in clear terms that you are not part of Nigeria. That is why the restructuring was defeated. If these useless legislators were able to pass the restructuring bill, it would have given Nigeria a little advantage to control the Biafra agitation. But for defeating it, it means everybody within that secluded contraption called Nigeria are not part of the contraption except the Fulanis. So I urge my brothers, our brothers in the riverine area, to wake up and talk about Biafra, embrace Biafra. Let us restore our land. Well, when we restore our land, we have equity, we have justice. Everybody will be equal. We live an egalitarian society whereby our talents could be harnessed and channeled to a productive result for our people to enjoy. So there is no need for you to continue to go to collect peanuts from this murderous government, calling it militant monthly pay. He can never help. He can never help us. When you collect 60,000 today or collect 100,000 this month, next month you also wait for another 100,000. The other month because it makes you to become a lazy person. You cannot harness your talent.
And they will not take them serious.
They will not take you serious because they know that when all of us come together and say we want Biafra, brother, they have no other alternative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalam. Yes, our people in the riverine area, you have been agitating for resource control for Nigeria to allow you to control your resources so that you will be able to control, to develop yourselves. You'll be able to develop your environment. You'll be able to, control your future. Nigeria has failed to embrace the restructuring which you are calling for, which you have been agitating for. Right now, you are Biafrans. You know that your origin, you are Biafrans.
And embracing Biafra means you are going to control your resources. Whatever that is on your land belongs to you. There is no how that we in Abia State will come to Bayelsa to take what is in Bayelsa. No. So Biafra is the only option for you because we have been subjugated together.
Even the Biafra would favor them even more than restructuring.
Of course. Yes, what is restructuring?
Because Biafra will give them chance to control their resources, to control their destiny, to control their life, to control
have their own parliament, make their own law, have their own language.
We are not agitating for Biafra to go with you people because of the resources in your place. No. We, the people of Biafra, we want to free everybody together. We want to free everybody. We want everybody to be able to control their destiny, be able to protect their future, be able to develop themselves, be able to develop their environment. This is exactly what the indigenous people of Biafra is agitating for. We are not agitating to take resources from any part of Biafra. No, your own province, you control it. You control everything. You run your own economy, you run your own government, you run everything for your own lives, for your own future, for your own environment. So, in terms of political development and economic development, you take care of yourself. These are things we are talking about. So what am I trying to say? The northern Nigerians voted against the restructuring is so that they will continue to enslave the people of Biafra. It's so that they will continue to make us to be poor.
To enslave us.
To enslave us.
To enslave us. That is the right word.
This is what they want. So they want to continue with it. So this is the truth of the matter. This particular program is a program to tell our people to make sure that our people will know what is happening, to make sure that our people will understand the right way, to make sure that our people will understand what they should do at the moment. So the people of Biafra, the elites from Biafra land, should embrace Biafra Restoration Project now. The people of Biafra from the riverine area should embrace Biafra Restoration now. Restructuring first, so that Hausa Fulani and the British will continue to enslave the people of Biafra. Look at Ijoland. Look at Ogene land. Their land has been destroyed. Fishing is no longer a business. They cannot cultivate, they cannot plant. So these are the issues. No enabling environment, nothing. So they have nothing to do again now to embrace Biafra. Biafra restoration is the only way forward. And nothing on earth will stop the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra. This is the truth of the matter. Thank you for being with us.
Biafra freedom, freedom is what we need now. Freedom, freedom is what we want now. Biafra freedom, freedom is what we need now. Freedom, freedom is what we want now. Calling the United Nations to set my people free. Calling the League of the Nations to set Biafra free. Lord no. Calling the African Union, talk about my freedom. I'm calling the folk on the south this go to set Biafra free. Lord, for so long